welcome back to the Royal Read. So glad you decided to stop by and see what I am reading today. Today I am reading Prince Charles. Evidently, he decided that he didn't want us dragging Camilla anymore for that display she put on and he put on uh, in France over the weekend at the D-Day memorial, because the French was dragging her. And so he felt like it was time they had to change the subject. So what do? They reach in their bag and they come up with something about Harry and Meghan or and Archie and Lilibet. So the Mirror had this morning an exclusive, and we know what an exclusive means when it's in those tabloid rags. It means that the palace is leaked to them. So they're out early this morning leaking to try to get everybody's focus off of Camilla not holding Brigitte Macron's hand and acting as if she is somehow better, and she is not really. She is just a few clicks. Is that, I got that from one of Megan's haters. She's a few clicks up from being a bed wench, but she's too good for Brigitte Macron. And Brigitte and our First Lady, Jill Biden, was out and about the rest of the weekend holding hands, acting like they were girlfriends, and just showing this person how real people actually behaves. When did she become so high and mighty? You know what I'm saying? The queen didn't even want her to even be in the family, but Charles insisted upon it. Queen did not want her to be the queen. She wanted her to be the queen consort, but it doesn't matter how revered and how admired and how exalted they say the Queen Elizabeth was. They do nothing that she wants. No, they don't respect her wishes at all. You know, she wanted Camilla to be addressed as the queen consort, and actually, she wanted her to be the princess consort. But they kept on weaseling around. Charles kept on weaseling around to the point where he got her as the queen, and it's an embarrassment. He doesn't even understand how embarrassing that is. Your bed wench is the queen. It's embarrassing for him. It's embarrassing for the UK. Everybody looks at them and laugh. Brigitte Macron and Jill Biden was having a good old giggle about this woman who had slept her way to the top, having the nerve to think that she's somehow better. Don't you know they had themselves a kiki at Camilla's expense? And she's walking around looking like she's 250 years old. She's only a few years older than Brigitte, and Brigitte is walking around looking like $1 million, while Camilla's walking around looking like pocket change. So, but I digressed, because this is what this is about. They dropped this little nugget so we would stop talking about Camilla. And like I said, I never miss an opportunity to drag Camilla. I love it. And when other people are dragging her, I love it even more. So I hope the French continue to drag her, because it's not that she don't deserve it. And I love it. And I'm going to drag her as long as I can. I promise you, I will be dragging her for as long as I possibly can on this channel. She'll always get drug here. But we digress, and we're going to go into this article. Excuse me. Like I said, you'll get used to me tying my tongue in a knot on this channel. Because if you become a part of my tribe, if you are a part of my tribe, you'll know that sometimes I cannot spit it out. Those words get all tied up in there. But I did not go to the Mirror. The Mirror is the one who got the exclusive, and then it kind of just rippled over to all the other tabloids and newspapers and whatnot. I got it off Marie Claire. But anytime you see exclusive in the Mirror, in the Daily Fail, in the Scum, in the what's the other one? Daily Express, they were directly leaked by the palace, and the Mirror especially. The Mirror is their go-to. That's the only reason why I even bother with the Mirror. Now they're not gonna tell the truth about Harry and Meghan, but they will drop the nuggets that the palace has planted for us to pick up, in the Mirror. So that's basically what it is. That's the only good it is, you know, so we'll know what the palace is talking about. But this is a diversion. They don't want us dragging Camilla anymore. Well, but I'm gonna stop dragging her and get into this article, but I'm gonna drag her again before I get off of here because it's something that I do that I enjoy. I enjoy dragging Camilla. I do. Women like her, I just cannot take. I cannot. And fathers and grandfathers like Charles, I cannot take. I can't. He wasn't a good son. He talks about how the queen wasn't a good mother. He should talk about how he wasn't a good son. His mama lay dying, dying, and he was out foraging for mushrooms. That's what he was doing with his day while his mom lay dying. So he can talk all he wants to about that Prince Philip wasn't a good father and his mother wasn't a good mother, the queen. But he wasn't a good son either. He plotted behind her back to try to get her to um, renounce the throne so he could take the throne early. He did all of that. Treacherous. And I still say, and I stand on this. Now, this is my belief that they had something to do with Diana's death. So, and I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on it. That's what I believe. I get to believe whatever I want to believe, and I believe that. Let's get into this article and then we will discuss. Ugh, Charles. It says King Charles apparently isn't content with just a FaceTime relationship. Let's stop it right there. Do you honestly think Charles is FaceTiming with Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet? I don't. I don't. Now the Queen did. Prince Philip did. And they want to talk about how Harry and Meghan's behavior just affected her in her last days. The Queen was FaceTiming with Harry and Meghan, watching the babies run around, sending them waffle irons. So he sent Harry said that the Queen sent um, Archie a waffle iron for Christmas. And said Megan just makes up something, all kinds of stuff and put it in the waffle iron. And said Archie would say waffle, waffle, waffle. Yeah, yeah. So Harry and Meghan really gave her a hard time. And also what the Queen did, she made sure she was a part of their lives. She never not was a part of their lives. She made sure that they had security when they came over. And when for her Jubilee, she made sure that they had their own procession in that church. Now, the Queen made some mistakes, but she was also elderly. I think if all this had happened and she was younger, it would have came out totally different because she wouldn't have let it went down like that. She wouldn't have let them pull Harry and Meghan's security. But I digress because, you know, ugh. Okay, FaceTime relationship with his grandchildren, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. As everyone who has been through one knows, there's not much that's one anyone who has been through one knows that no there's not much like a health scare, whether it is your own or someone you love, to make you reevaluate one's life and priorities. That seems to be happening to King Charles in the aftermath of his cancer diagnosis earlier this year. The Mirror reports that the king has told friends that he's not happy with only seeing his grandchildren, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, in video calls. And he wants to be more present in their lives going forward. Who believe that? Not me. If he felt that way, why did he take Frogmore Cottage? Why did he do that? I don't believe that they're having video calls. And if he wanted it to be different, why did he behave? Wasn't it just last month when Harry was over in the UK for the 10th anniversary of the Victor's Games? He wouldn't even see Harry. So why now? Why all of a sudden? Why are they leaking this? Why are they planning this in the Mirror? I'll tell you why. Because Camilla got dragged about her behavior over in France. He got dragged about walking around with full military regalia on, with golden ropes around his arm and a chest full of medals that his mom had gave him or he had gave himself. While talking to people in the audience who had sacrificed it all and they earned their medals, while talking about people who was lying in graveyards, not far from there, who gave the ultimate sacrifice, who made the ultimate sacrifice. And here he is, had never bust a grape with all these medals on his chest. So they want us to get off of that. They want us to move on. So what do? They pull out this little rabbit out of their bag of tricks. Well, let's throw them something about Harry and Meghan. Charles do not care about anybody except himself and that bed wench that he made a queen. And Harry is finally coming to the realization of that. And I say, thank God. But Meghan already saw it. When Meghan did her deep bow to the Queen at her funeral, Meghan was bowing out. She was bowing out of that mess. She was done with it. But Harry still got to work through it. Megan, it didn't take Megan long to see what her family was about, but Harry, Harry been programmed for a long time, so it's taking him some time to work through it. But clearly, they pulled this one out. They just said, "Oh, let's go to the bag of tricks. Let's pull this one out." Charles want to be a good grandfather. It works both ways. It softened him. It works to his advantage. It softened him. And it makes, everybody think that Harry's keeping the grandchildren away from him. And, so he win. It's a win-win for him. Yeah. And we stop dragging Camilla. We stop dragging him about the weekend. We stop dragging him and focus on this. This is all it's about. All it's about. Because didn't he have cancer? They said, okay, it says when you have cancer, when you have a cancer scare, whether it is your own or someone you love, to make one reevaluate one's life and priorities. If Charles had reevaluated his life and his priorities, he wouldn't have clowned himself like he did when Harry came over for the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. He totally clowned himself. He totally reminded us of the failed father, the failed grandfather, the failed king, the failed man, the failed human being that he is. He's not reevaluating anything. He's angling for the best PR that he can get when it comes to Harry, Meghan, and those babies. And that's it. So I'm done with this. This is ridiculous. I'm not reading any further because it's all everything. Megan said it best. She said they worry more about how things look than how they feel. And this is what it is. It's all about how it looks because there's no feeling there. He doesn't have the capacity for it. A man who loses his shit, he literally lost his shit because his pen leaked ink on national TV. Well, on international TV because the world was watching. He lost his shit when he had too many things on his desk when he had to sign some papers. A man with that level of level of immaturity, it's gonna have the ability to reevaluate things. No, basically looking at how can I win? How can I come out of this looking good? Who can I use? Because that's all he did with Harry and William. He used them to his best advantage. Because at the end of the day, it's about Charles for him. And it's about that bed wench they call a queen. And that's the end of that story. And we're gonna move on to Fergie. We're going to talk about Fergie saving the day. Fergie saving the day. They want us to believe that one too. Okay, it says, I got this from, where did I get this from? Sky News. Sky News. Sky News is doing this one. I look back at my videos of last week. I was talking about how they were talking about evicting Prince Andrew from the Royal Lodge and how it was a red herring. How they pulled that out of their bag of tricks to have to feed the beast, to give the tabloid papers something to write about, to give the talking heads on television something to talk about, um, over the weekend. There's something to put in the Sunday papers, to sell papers, because they have that invisible contract. So they have to put something out. So they went and dug that old story up, and it's gonna come back again. It goes away, it comes around. It's like it's on clockwork. It goes around and it comes around. It goes around and it comes around. It just came around again. They use it again, and they gonna use it again. But the way they getting out of it this time, they using Sarah Ferguson for it, saying she talked with Charles and helped him. Let me read it, and then we'll discuss. Okay. Sarah was able to help support Andrew. Sarah convinced King Charles to let Andrew stay in Royal Lodge. I think I said in one of my videos that I would be gobsmacked if um, Andrew moved out of the Royal Lodge. That this was a red herring. It was just something they could throw out there. They were feeding the beast, red meat for the beast. And Harry and Meghan is serving them dust. So they don't have anything from them, not since they came back from Nigeria. And so they got this. All right, let's read a little bit more. It said King Charles had reportedly agreed to let Andrew stay in his lavish home, like I think I said in my video earlier that Charles called Andrew up and said, listen, we got to dig this old story out again. Don't worry about it. But we're going to throw this story out here again. Because Andrew is used to being thrown under the bus. He used to being the spare. He's used to being the one that they use for tabloid fodder. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this story is going to come around again. Let's keep going. King Charles had reportedly agreed to let Prince Andrew stay at his lavish home, Royal Lodge, after the Dukes of York's ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, agreed to shoulder the repair cost. She ain't got no money. That's why she living there with him. Well, maybe she loved him. I don't know. But how she? Come on now. Okay, let's read on. A 30-room estate at Windsor Great Park is one of the most luxurious property owned by the Crown and was previously home of the Queen Mother. Andrew has lived in the home since 2004 under a 75-year lease from the Crown Estates and shares a massive property with his ex-wife. However, the home has been beset by growing maintenance problems, with the king reportedly using an urgent repair works to pressure the Yorks, both 64, out of the home and into a smaller property. I know you lying. That is such booey hooey. While it appears increasingly like the Andrew and Fergie would be soon leaving their longtime home, the Yorks have instead doubled down on their commitment to the property and offered up mystery funds to complete the required renovations. Who believe that? If she got $200,000, why is she there? And also, she just bought a $4 million home too, not long ago, if I'm not mistaken, in a swanky part of London. So maybe she got a few coins. I don't know. New photos published in British newspaper last week show contractors renovating parts of the grand home with scaffolding and skips erected around the lodge. That's that money the Queen left. If you think the Queen did not leave her favorite son a bag of money, I got a bridge to sell you. That's where that money, and they didn't want all that construction to be going on because they put up the poor mouth like Andrew don't have nothing and he can't afford it. They just don't want people to know exactly what's going on, and we won't know because the Queen's um her will won't be released for 100 years. But she left him some coins. She left him some money. And they wanted to redo that house and probably add on and do a lot of renovations on that home. And so they had to have a good excuse. So they planted this story that the king again is gonna want to kick him out because of you know, repairs have gone undone. I mean, it's it's the UK. Um, is the UK people that stupid that they swallow this stuff? Are they that this naive? Andrew got plenty of coins. Sarah got plenty, you know, she got coins because she, like I said, she not long ago she bought a $4 million property. And you know, they said that they sold that chalet in Switzerland. I think it was Switzerland for $12 million, and that's where they got $12 million. I never did see who bought it and if it was sold. I don't think that was sold. I think they still got it. They are slick. They some slick pennies, and the British people just eat it up. The public, yeah, serve up all this stuff and they eat it up. I mean, come on now. Come on now. According to an unnamed palace insider, we know what that means. Charles was finally convinced to let the Yorks stay in the home for the time being after Ferguson committed to her own money for the repairs. This is the stuff that they putting out there. Sarah saying that she was able to help support Andrew and cover the costs, including with repairing Royal Lodge, were part of the reason why the king was happy to allow them to stay in the property, the royal insider told Express newspaper on Sunday. The queen left Andrew some coins, and it ain't no telling how many million of coins she left him because Charles was going to be king. He was inheriting $1 billion. What do they call it? God, what do they call that? I don't forgot what they call it. Where God, duchy. That's what they call it. He was inheriting $1 billion duchy from her. William inherited $1 billion duchy. So, who do you think the queen left the money to? She left it to Andrew and to Edward, because Edward has a huge property too. They don't never talk about Edward moving out of his property. He got a huge property. And so she left it to, you know, and Anne. Anne is the only one got that rundown. I mean, I was gobsmacked when I saw when you know she had did some kind of live or something, and she was rooting for a team or something, and we got a look up in that house. She is a hoarder. She could be on A&E program, The Hoarders. My goodness, all that stuff up in there. But she's the only one that got the broke down house. And we just saw that one room. If the other rooms look anything like that, her and her husband is two hoarders. But that's who she left it to. She left it to Anne and Edward and she left it to Andrew and she left her grandchildren. Harry got some coins out of that too. Yeah. So Andrew got some coins. This was all a stage play. What they call it over there, a pantomime. That's what it was. It was all to for the public. Everybody wins. The paper gets to have something to write about. Andrew gets to spend his money so he can upgrade his property without the public feeling some kind of way about it. And it's just a win-win all the way around. And Sarah Ferguson gets to be the hero. So it's just a win-win all the way around. And she was on TV last week talking about, oh, well, I just stay out of it. I just stay out of it. And I let the brothers work through it and I just stay out of it. Well, it looked like you didn't stay out of it. It looked like you didn't. But it's all performative. Um, Megan peeped us in on this in the beginning. Megan said it's all performative. It's how things look, not how things feel. And so there you go. All right, everybody. Oh, one more thing. I wanted to touch a little bit on, update on the letter that Kate wrote to the Irish Guard because she will not be taking the salute for, I guess it's like a pre-event to the Trooping of the Colors. And I don't think she's gonna be at Trooping of the Colors either. But people on the internet streets just tore that letter apart and said that the verbiage was American, a lot of misspelled words up in there, and some people were saying that the signature was off. So, do we believe that it was Kate? Tell me in the comments, because I don't. Convince me. If you believe that it's Kate who signed that letter, say it in the comments and try to convince me, because I don't believe it. And this is the gag right here. Kate is the Colonel. What is the Colonel General of the Irish Guard? She is the Colonel of the Irish Guard. Never ever served a minute in the military whatsoever, and wore tights and a camouflage jacket to an event for them. That's what Kate did. Wow. I mean, I just don't get the UK public why they continue with this force of a family. They all walk around with all these medals on their chest that they have given themselves. And these people, in the army, have to stand up there and salute Kate. Kate, who has done nothing except scheme her way to the top. You got to give her props to that. She trapped William and she did a good job at it. But unfortunately, she didn't know. It's kind of like trapping a wild animal and then you get him and you catch him and then it turns on you. Scratch your eyes out. That's what William did. She caught him and then she wished she had caught him because she missing. And if I had a little girl that was George's age and I was in the turnip tops and high society, because that's what he's gonna where he's gonna look for a wife. I don't think he's gonna look for a social climber like his mama. I would now I understand why they said the high society parents did not want their daughter to marry William. I understand now. And so, wow. And so, if I had a little girl that was George's age and I was running in the same circles as they run in, I would be the same way. I wouldn't want my daughter to be the Princess of Wales because the Princess of Wales job is dangerous. Diana came up dead, and now Kate done come up missing. You tell me a job that happens to everybody who does it or obtain it or become it or whatever you do. Diana came up dead, and Kay has come up missing. That is the queen. I mean the Princess of Wales. That they should have. That should be the ad or the saying that people should say. If you want your daughter to dead or come up missing, let her become the Princess of Wales. All right, y'all. Got to go. My battery's dying. See you next time. Bye.